So tonight our featured artist will be Davare. Let's Davare with an accent over the E.
Does that make it French?
It makes it more French, you know, with an accent.
I'll make it with your love, with no illusion. I'll face the day, and I'll get through the night with no confusion. I'll make my way, and with you, with me, I'll be alright. Cold winds can wear away a mountain, but when they blow on me, I'll hold on with your love, friend. I know.
So if you were looking for a loving moment, let's just say you just found one.
Whatever lies ahead,
We got some soothing love song to play from this brother. Gonna change the vibes a little. Take it down a notch or two. You know, as we always encourage you, pour yourself something to drink. Get out the board and roll yourself something if so be the case. In which way, Rootz Reggae Radio, Rhythm Up Friday, will take you of the entertainment. I Ras Morgan alongside
Karen Delight.
That's right.
with no illusion, I'll face the day, and I'll get through the night with no confusion. I'll make my way, and with you, with me, I'll be alright. Cold wind can wear away a mountain. Ever since you went away, every day is just a cloudy day, and I don't know if it's rain from the sky or tears from my eyes falling on my face and rolling down my cheek. Pour it back and bring the sun. Let me be your one and only one, and with just one kiss, stop the rain from the skies, tears from my eyes falling on my face and rolling down my
As I said, this artist is gonna take you on a groovy vibes. So just kick back and relax.
All I know is I love you, and if I live forever, I'll be loving you still. You will always be just everything to me. So pour it back and bring the sun. And believe me, I'm gonna make it up to you. I wanna make love to you, baby.
This is one of my favorite ones, you know, Russ? This is one of my favorites ones. Slow it down,
I wanna touch your body, lady.
Silent Davari.
Touching you feels so
The voice of Davari.
I woke up this morning with you on my mind. Now I'm trying to get to you on time. This job I have is keeping us apart, but a stitch in time saves 9. And so I booked a flight to be there before morning light. I wanna make love to you tonight. Oh, I wanna make love to you, lady.
That's the name of this one. Make love to you tonight. And it happens to be Karen Delight's favorite. Put the dash together.
Touching you feels so right.
Good song, artist, good song.
I'm not gonna try to hide this feeling, no. This feeling of love I have for you. And my only cure is sexual healing. It's clinically proven, tried and true. So please don't think I'm rude.
And as we said, we're going to try to touch base with the artist so we can reason for a while, talk for a while, so the ladies them can get more for a while.
Make love tonight. I wanna touch your body, lady. Touching you feels so right.
So you're listening to our feature artist, Davari.
It was right from the very start. When you were deep in our heart, this love was meant to be. And since we knew it all along, we built this thing strong and filled it with a memory. Now just look at you and me, as close as we could be here on love's natural high. Some said it couldn't last, and tried to taint us with our past, but we just walk on by. So many tried and tried to break us down, but we held on, that's why we're still around. I believe in you and you believe in me. Nothing stays the same, but our love will remain to pass the test of time. Just as long as I am yours and you are mine. Oh, lovers come and go, but this love just grows and grows, so stronger every day. So when the years they roll on by, I'm so proud of you and I, and that you are here.
So this is Davari that you're listening to on Rootz Reggae Radio.
And as we said, we're going to try to touch base with the artist so you can reason for a while. Yes, man. Get to know more about the artist himself and the man behind the music. And I know Karen Delight have some intriguing questions to ask.
As always. So anyways, you know, Ross, the name Davari.
Yes.
It is Davari, and that's with an accente over the E, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like that. So it invokes ambition, self-discipline, and flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
I always have to tell you a little bit about the meaning of the name, eh? Davari, he's an artist, a songwriter, a founder of Blue Note Music. And before I begin, I would need to give John from Soul Kitchen a big thank you. Because he's, as you know, he's a ambassador to music like myself. And he's very passionate about this artist.
Yes.
He said, Karen, have you heard him? And I said, yes, I saw him on, a few events with Amar Shepard. I guess, they work together, and I've seen a few things with him. I said he's got a style about him, it's like his own genre, but John is passionate about the music. And so I said, you know what? I got to key in and really listen to it more. So thank you for John for that one. I did, like I said, we need to get to know the man behind the music. Put a little face behind the name, and the name suits him.
Yes.
Davari's quite a handsome name, and he fits it. He sings love ballad songs, and he shows an appreciation for women. So I respect that. His songs are about relationships, the good, the bad, and even the ones that lead to breakup.
Yes.
But they're beautiful ballads. He's quite articulate, Russ. Deep thinker, and a walking book of knowledge. And I like his style because it's like a R&B rock steady.
Yes.
It's like he's authentic, and he's made his own genre of music
within it. Yes, in the corner of love.
So let's try to reach out to the artist and get to know more about the man behind the voice, the man behind the music.
Definitely. Who do we have on the line? Are you there?
Good evening to the audience of Rootz Reggae Radio.
Yes, artist.
Ras Morgan, big up yourself, Karen Delight. Beautiful evening to you. How you guys feeling? How you doing? How you doing out the radio land?
Well, I want to welcome you to the Rootz Reggae Radio Natural Room. And the fans, them pump and them charge right now, and them just want to hear from the man himself, because Karen don't give you a red carpet introduction,
Well, you have a thing about women, my brother. You see, if they love you as their man, and I'm not only talking about intimate love, I'm talking about if you want to fall in love with the man that you are,
yes,
you just got to get out of the way and just let them do them thing, because they are one beautiful thing when they decide to elevate us, man. You get me?
Yes, definitely. Yes, man. When they're ready to put man on that high standard, they will, and they will do it gracefully, and that's exactly what she did,
Earn it, my brother. Once you earn it, you will learn it. That is what they're gonna do. So just sit back, get out of the way, and make them do them thing, because they're doing it for you.
Yes, man.
Like I say, you ever cross up and make that go wrong? You ever hear that? There is no worse fury than that of a woman's scorn.
Barris don't sing about double trouble already. Me hear it from Barris. So artists are going to reason with you, and as Mr. Karen, I ask you a few questions so we can get to know the man behind the music. Iris? Yes, I.
Well, Davari, this is your platform. I mean, I'm sure people have heard your songs before, but those who have never heard of Davari, or those in other countries who are not familiar with you, let's gain some new fans. Who is Davari?
Davari is a moniker for what you see is what you get. Davari is not a facade. Davari is real. What you see, again, that's absolutely what you get. And so, in your introduction, I heard you mention something about authenticity. I am not the next anyone. That is something that I look in the mirror and I solidify every single day. And this happens because I know who I am. I have no question about that person whatsoever, because I met the guy and I fell in love with him many years ago. So when it comes to Davari gives you of himself. You understand what I mean? If you listen to my music, if you listen to my lyrical content, I have a focus on coherence. I have a focus on bringing my message across the way how it started. So whatever I start talking about, I remain talking about that thing the entire song.
Okay.
I have zero agenda that's led by anyone. You understand what I'm saying? So if I walk into a studio and someone wants me to do a song, I have to feel it. If I don't feel it, it's not going to happen. I don't care how much money you put on the table. Because of that same authenticity. So when Davari is being heard today, tomorrow, and forever, it'll be the same person. And oh, by the way, Karen, I gotta drop something on you really quick. You mentioned something earlier in your introduction about the name, and I think Ras Morgan had a question.
Yes.
I'm gonna just do a little bit of correction. It's not French, it's Spanish.
It's Spanish. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Nice to know. Yes, man.
So, Devare, I don't know if I heard it, read it, or seen it, or what the scenario was, but maybe you can let us know how you became a professional singer. I think I saw somewhere that you said it's in the genes, and I think your daughter is a singer too.
Yes, it's a hand-me-down. What happened is, okay, so I know my great-grandmother and I know my grandmother. I was fortunate enough to have met my great-grandmother before she passed. And I spent a lot of time with my grandmother growing up. My grandmother had a beautiful singing voice, but she didn't do a lot of singing, but she would hum. And she would sound like that morning bird. You know the first bird you hear singing in the morning?
Yeah.
That's what she reminds me of, even to this day. When I find myself trapped in a dark place, that's one of the voices that helped me bring me back to the light. You understand what I'm saying? And then now, by the time it comes down to my mom was choir director. So I kind of grew up in music itself, and the thing about it is that music was something that soothed the soul. It wasn't something to look for to put food on the table. It was more like something to get away from it all, so to speak.
Yes,
right?
comfort.
So, right, it still is. Ras Morgan,
yes, it is.
If there's any place that I can go where there is no sound at all that can bother me, it's in my music. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the power of it. So back to how it came down now. So by the time I was like, let's say 8, 10 years old, I was this little young singing sensation with a mid-baritone voice, right? And the oddest thing, our voice don't change until we become teenagers. But I could sing in that low register that was amazing, right? So people used to always look to me to do this, even when they line me up on the choir for church and stuff, because I sang in church. So even when they line me up on the choir, they would line me up off of the sopranos, more towards the bass. And I carried this one melody. So I was learning how to do this as I was growing up. Fast forward to my offspring now, right? So I started to notice my children doing pretty much the same thing that I do, which is hide behind music or hide within music.
Yes.
And I remember the conversation when my daughter was in transition from middle school to what would be junior high. Okay, so we call it secondary in the Caribbean, right? So the secondary level. And I said to my daughter, I said, it's not about dreams. What it is, it's about your passion. And if you find your niche within your passion and you pursue both of those together, you will never work a day in your life. Fast forward to on this day, during this conversation, I have a child that's in college studying voice. So that's you're talking about great-grandmother, grandmother, mother, me, and then my daughter. That's 5 generations, right?
Yes, right. Yes, So that's definitely genetic. It's there.
Yes, it's genetic, without question.
Yeah, man, it's there,
So that being said, what would your advice be to a fellow artist or a young artist coming up in the business to how to deal with it?
The first thing is you have to identify, because we are stereotypical beings naturally. If you know that's a light pole, it's because somewhere you come in contact with that thing being called a light pole, or else you would never know it's a light pole. You probably think it's an elephant. You see what I mean? So the fact of the matter is, identify. Know what it is that you're doing, and once you know what this is, master it. I give this advice straight across the board, and I will not ever take it back. The fact of the matter is, if you do not find mastery in your craft, then basically you're just kind of flailing around like a flag in the wind. Because the fact of the matter is, if you put what you will gain first in front of what you are going to pursue, your view will always be on the gain. And that's what you call taking your eye off for the ball. You know what happens in a game when you take your eye off for the ball, right? Poof, the ball drop right in front of you. So that is usually how it goes. So my advice straight across the board, for those who are here, for those who are trying to get here, for those who are trying to get somewhere else further down the line, master your craft. The second piece of advice is, if you intend for this to feed you, it's a business. know the business. That goes right back to mastering your craft. So regardless of whatever it is that you do, you need to understand the business aspect of this, because ultimately it's what? It's the music business. Wouldn't that be correct, Karen?
Yes.
Right? Yes. It's the music business. So if you only know the music and you don't know the business, then you're going to be highly disappointed when some really serious things reach you. But you lose all your mind too.
Yes, man, you may end up like the wasp where you can't really make honey, you know? That type of thing. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Okay. So I mentioned that your genre of music is a little authentic, and some people might say it's a bit R&B or rock steady. So do you classify it, or do you sing other genres?
I don't classify it, but I identify with what you're saying 100%. A lot of people ask me in interviews who my influences are. I have none. I was never influenced by anybody to be the next anything. All I wanted to do was sing. And when I sang, I wanted my song to be my own. So take, for instance, I only write on inspiration. I have never written a song because I hear a rhythm. Ever. I've never done it. I only write when this voice that I identified well into my adult life said to me, this is what you put on paper. So some of it is subliminal, some of it is direct, some of it is what I see with my eyes, some of it are thoughts that I would have as I go about my general day, not necessarily based on any one thing, but as the day comes together, because I'm a serious reflector, right? So what would happen is, I would hear this thing, but I didn't know what it was. Until one day, when it happened, I wrote it down, but I didn't read what I wrote. I just wrote something straight on a piece of paper. And I gave it to someone who always hear me singing cover songs, and him cuss me stink dog rotten and tell me I'm a lie. He said, brother, oh, you say you can't write. I said, well, I can't really write till me just, and he said, man, tell me foolishness of me, man, you're homesick, you know. And when he said that to me, it's like it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was like seriously homesick. And then I realized through that if I am writing down how I feel and without projecting it, means there were no precursors to me giving somebody a hint of what I wrote down or of how I felt. I told them nothing at all. And they can make the proper interpretation, and there's something there. So once I realized that was happening, I started to find a way to lock this so-called voice that I would hear talk to me, because it would come whenever, wherever I choose it. So once I decided to lock it, I start to realize something. So now, it comes to me in the words and in the melody, right? So as I would see, like right now, if I'm talking to you and I'm writing down a song, as soon as I finish writing the song, I can sing it. I know exactly, word for word, exactly, right?
Okay.
So when this happened, the first time I actually started singing one of my songs, I heard the R&B you mentioned earlier. And then, after I think about it, I realized really and truly what it is. When I was coming up, it was radio. There were no TV stations and stuff like that. So what happened with us boys is, in the evening after we beat and relax, we would listen to R&B. That's what was on the radio.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you want to speak on the word influence, that would be what the influence is. And then now I realized that even people like Sanchez and a lot of people before him, that's what they did. Alton Ellis and a lot of the greats, they covered songs that were R&B songs, because that is how blacks identified, was with rhythm and blues. Rhythm literally and blues literally. You understand what I'm saying? That's what R&B stands for all who don't know what R&B stands for rhythm and blues.
Rhythm and blues,
so the rhythm, the beat, that African drum, okay, started to captivate the way how I felt about a song. And so in my mind, it has to do what I call ride. It has to ride and flow in a particular way. So as this started to come out now, and I had the ability to listen to what I was doing on recording, not just listen to my voice in my own head, but listen to what was being recorded, I was like, whoa. And one day somebody said to me, you know, so you kind of have a feel like Boris Gardner, and I sat down hard in the chair. Really, really hard in the chair, because I realized that something was being developed. And I locked onto that authenticity, and I said, I will never let this go, because this is mine. This is uniquely mine. Yes. And believe me, I've been to many a place, Ras Morgan, Karen, let me tell you something. I've been to many a places that people try to tell me, say, this is what I am supposed to be doing, and I smile, thank them, and walk away.
Oh, wow.
Because it won't be me. Remember, I told you earlier, I am a genuine person. When I look in the mirror, I need to fall in love with that guy like every single day that's looking back at me. It needs to be that way. If it's not that way, then I don't know who I am. It's like I'm lost in the crowd. And by doing that, like take for instance, you listen to that song that you just played that goes, it was right from the very start.
Yes.
It literally tells you about what you found at the beginning. And at the end of that song, it's there thanking the person for sticking around and being with you.
Yes.
That is almost like a greeting card. It was never planned.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. I didn't sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm going to write a love song today. No. So that's what comes out when that kind of stuff comes to me. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about cover, you mentioned a bit about cover songs. Diamonds in the Rough, for instance. I think Johnny Cash did a redemption of that, of that.
No, that's an original song. Diamond in the Rough is an original song.
That was your original version of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my original song. Yeah.
Okay. And what about
I listened to Johnny Cash growing up a lot too. You know.
Pardon me?
I did. I listened to Johnny Cash growing up.
Oh, did you?
Music.
Yeah, he did a different version of Diamonds in the Rough. Sorry.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And your Drift Away, that was written by you also?
No, Drift Away wasn't written by me. So let me bring something to your question, right? If I'm gonna cover a song, I have to own it.
Okay.
That's why every song that I cover has an original beat.
Yes.
If you listen to Tears from My Eyes, when you first hear that song, you'll never know that's what it is. If you listen to Little Green Apples that I covered, very, very popular Dennis Brown song, you'll never know that's what it is when it begins.
Yes.
Because that is something about what I do. I'm going to take that song that someone somewhere was feeling, and I'm going to dig deep into the mindset of that person. And I'm going to think to myself, and when I'm done, I will have come up with something that is mine about that song.
Yes.
So I wrap myself into the song itself. And then when I'm done, I marry how I feel about the song to a beat. I don't go into the studio and listen to a whole bunch of rhythms and try to wrap the song around the rhythm. I do not do that. It's the other way around.
Okay.
So what happens is, as this happens in that way, you will get the cover in a very peculiar way. You remember that same authenticity where you started off with?
Yes.
That is how I work on my authenticity. So when you hear a cover from me, it's going to throw you for that loop until you, wait, isn't that, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, because like with Drift Away, the way the Doobie Brothers did it, it was a way different from what you did. Yeah, it's a nice and unique version of how you put the song together. We're going to let our listeners hear one of your songs, another one of your songs to get to know more about Devare. Hold that up. Maybe he can introduce it. Do you know what song that is we're about to play?
This song was done. I'm going to go a little bit deep. So can I just get like less than 1 minute? But I'm going to go a little bit deep.
Yes.
So this song was done by Frank Sinatra, but it wasn't written by him. It was written by Paul Anka. Mm-hmm. The reason this song was written was the Feds was after Frank Sinatra. And it was time for him to go to court right after the New Year began. Okay? And he went to the studio on New Year's Day, and Paul Anka was there. And during that time, whatever was happening with these guys at the studio and stuff, they came up with this idea that he's literally going to say to the world, I did whatever it is that I did my way, regardless of what the Feds say. I did Frank Sinatra.
Right.
Well, take what I just said and put that into me being a person. You remember what I said about the authenticity?
Yes.
That is my passion behind that song. So I felt like this was my life, and I took that song and made it my own in that way. So, for all your listening ears and for all your listening pleasure, wherever you are and whatever is the weather, this song literally says, I did it my way.
I did it my way.
And now the end is near, and so I face final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case. Of this I'm certain, I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I've planned each chartered course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way.
You're locked inside the Rootz Reggae Radio. Oh! Yes, man.
The thing is, you have such a huge catalog of music.
So, artists, me definitely say the mastery in which you speak of. Because, as I say, you take the song and you make it your own. And that is something where definitely I can relate to. Because it's something which Emperor Haile Selassie speak of a lot. Being the master of what you do and being the master of yourself. So you can't go wrong that way. And it kind of reflect in your music and your style. Yeah, it reflect in your style.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man.
Can't go wrong, you know.
Like with his song Gypsy Girl. I like that one too. I like there's a particular line I like, Russ, in that song. Whatever you want, now tonight is the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
So with Gypsy Girl, you sing about different kind of women, and it's interesting because when people think of gypsies, they think of nomadic lifestyle, they think of cheating women,
Belly dance. So to me, gypsy represent belly dancers.
And different people have sang about gypsy girls, Steven Tyler, and I think in the 70s Brian Holland sang about a gypsy woman. But here we have it 2020. Devare singing about his gypsy woman.
Here's the funniest thing about that gypsy woman, right? So with everything in life, you have to have both negative and positive in order for there to be balance, right?
Right.
People choose to gravitate towards what they choose to gravitate towards. But every man, and back me up on this one, if I go around here, I'll go around.
He's looking for backup.
Yes, man. Talk it talk, man. Talk it talk.
Because I'm about to get all the men in trouble right now. Right? So what happens is this. There is this thing, like candy, like a kid in a candy store. And I don't wanna refer to women as a thing, but I'm just saying it's a thing that men have for women. Look at it like that, right? And whenever you find this so-called gypsy, this thing that makes you sneak out at night, this thing that makes you stay out late at night, this thing that makes you drive faster than the speed limit, this thing that makes you stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning when you gotta go to work at 5. You understand what I'm saying? That's your gypsy girl, right? Okay? And for us, all us heterosexual males, we have encountered this before. We have encountered this one person that has this power to make us do right, to make us do wrong, to make us do what they want us to do by just that slapping of that finger, bro. They got you. You know what I mean? In other words, we call it what? Whip appeal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when you look at the gypsy girl and think of it in that thing, you're going to find that Karen.
And
you women have that power
and
over us,
it's something that have that universal influence on us. So I don't think we can't run from it. You try to step back on your back and reach against the wall because it's a universal influence in which female have over. Yes. And it's just you to make it be inspirational to you and inspiring to you and bring out the best. Because that's what the opposite sex is there, to bring out the best in you. Because as I say, Mr. Man strive for the highest and the farthest simply because he's doing it for a woman. So it brings out something out of a man, you know.
If this wasn't true, then the Samson and Delilah story could not have existed, my brother.
Wow.
It was 7 times that she got him, you know. She got him 7 times, and each one of those times she bring in the enemy, and he still went back. All the way to make him cut her hair. So, let her cut his hair. So if you look at it, symbolically speaking, you will see what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's there, you know, that influence is there. And it's covered in love. It's covered in love, with love. And it's come with, that's why, yes.
It's wrapped in layers.
It's wrapped in layers of love.
It's the sugar of the cake. One doesn't exist without the other, yeah?
Interesting. Well, I myself has been called a temptress, but not a gypsy girl. So I guess I got to put in a little bit more work. Gypsy girl. Well, I don't know if this was your biggest hit, but I know it was a big hit. This Year Love Is Here to Stay, which I think was 2014, 2015. That was a tremendous hit all over the world, including here in Canada.
In 2014, yes, you're right.
Right.
You did your homework. That's wonderful. That's a beautiful thing to see.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, welcome to the world of Miss Karen Delight.
Maybe I will get the title of Gypsy Girl after all. So,
wow, look at that.
you discussed personal this personal relationship experience, and you're celebrating the value of a woman, right? So, was that your biggest hit, or I don't know. Like, you tell me. That was a big hit here in Canada.
Okay, you're saying which one was my biggest hit?
Yeah.
It is.
It is? Okay.
This particular song is one of those things that people gravitate towards because it's a very uniquely human thing wherein you pop down and left on the side of the road and nobody wants you.
Yes.
And the moment somebody pick you up and brush you, Ras Morgan, the whole world see you.
Yes,
everybody just come with them little pink carpet to come dash on your foot.
Right, your foot,
you know
yes.
So what happens is, like, if you do not let the person or persons that are important to you throughout your lifetime come to know this. And when I say know, I don't mean believe, I mean know this. If you don't let them come to know it, then you yourself would have lost out.
Yes.
Because what I'm saying, encouragement sweeten labor, right?
Yes, just like that.
Appreciation that you show someone that you have for them. And like I said, I don't only speak about intimate love. I speak about love generally speaking straight across the board.
Yes.
Right? So when you let someone know the passion that you have for them, when you let them know how you feel about what they represent in your life, this one-way street we call life, then songs like this cheer at you because, like I said, the negative is going to come, brother. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if you don't stand fast, if you don't hold strong, you just mentioned Selassie's teaching, if you don't have something to make you steadfast in your mental, upstairs talk about, right? Then what happens is life itself tears all of this away from you and you end up lonely in a crowd.
Erosion. Oh, yes. You know?
Yes, sir.
We're going to play that song, but let me tell you something, Dora. If the music thing don't work out for you, I think you could be a good relationship expert, you know? Because it sounds like, unlike a lot of men, you're in our head. You know what women want.
Yes, he's on the inside. He's on the inside.
He's on the inside.
He breached the system.
Right, before you play that song, let me tell you this. There is an amazing thing about us men that women have been identifying for quite some time now. I'd say about 20, 25 years. And it is our fear of expressing ourselves, especially to our women. Okay? Somewhere along the line, I think I was probably gifted with the ability to do so. And I think that might be like a calling, you know? To help someone say what they couldn't say, Ras Morgan.
Yes.
To bring across, Karen, the thing that you so need to hear, not necessarily from that significant other, but just to know that it might not even be his fault. Because you know something, and I'm going to be really, really honest right here. I know a lot of men that can remember their last butt whipping, but cannot remember them last or what them get from them father. You see the problem?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's
yeah. If you weren't taught how to love, where you gonna get this from, brother?
Where I get it from? Where can I merge from? You know.
There you go.
So this one is called "This Your Love Is Here to Stay." I like when you mix the patois night, you know.
People are gonna talk about this love that we found, and other people gonna try to get you down, but I don't care what people say. I'm gonna love you anyway. Oh, I don't care about the games they play, 'cause this your love is here to stay. Oh, I don't care what people say. I'm gonna love you anyway. No, I don't care about the games they play, 'cause this your love is here to stay. People who love to talk will always have something to say, and it don't matter what you do, they gonna talk anyway. Clout and if them come behind your yard, just run them out. 'Cause I don't care what people say, I'm gonna love you anyway. Oh, I don't care about the games they play, 'cause this your love is here to stay. And all the haters gonna hate, that's what haters do.
That's what they do.
So all the hate they gonna hate, don't let it get to you.
Don't let it get to you.
Do what they wanna do, so just do what pleases you. Long as you know your love is true, I won't leave, I'm gonna stay right here with you. 'Cause I don't care what people say, I'm gonna love you anyway. Oh, I don't care about the games they play, 'cause this your love is here to stay.
Beautiful.
Make you feel like walking in the park.
Oh my gosh, I'm in my head in my head right now. That song brought me to places I can't even.
Don't care what people say.
But like you said,
it don't matter.
No matter.
Because hey, you know there was a little story, you know, a years ago there was a story where a man wanted to sell a donkey. And when him leave out from the yard of the donkey, he was riding the donkey. When him reach out from the road, some people said to him, but brother, you're wicked, man, you have to sell the donkey, at least you could have leave the donkey, God, man. You know, so you say, a true thing, and him come out for the donkey and start leave the donkey. Make a long story short, you see, by the time him reach at the market,
yes,
him have the donkey on him shoulder.
Because what people say?
Because of what everybody have to say.
So we say, so in come off it, he lead it, then start lift it up, because of what people have said.
Cooler as well, and you can't, and you have to make sure
yes,
that you know who you are.
We are.
And hold firm, find your niche in a life and hold firm and mask where you are.
Yes,
know
Rasta.
that it is authentic, it is true, and it is genuine, and you work with it.
Can't go around that.
I know this song that you just played, Ross. I know Christine Rendo. That's one of her favorite songs. And of course, I saw Devar's performance on that. That was a lovely performance, by the way. And that was nice for her birthday. So I'll let you know from now. I think I'll be calling you in November because I would love a performance like that for my birthday. That was beautiful. And it's
absolutely. Also, you're a November born.
Scorpio.
That's something.
Scorpio.
Like November 7th. Wow.
That being said, with COVID and stuff,
now
I
you
know
where the pattern come from. Karen, now you know where the pattern come from. November 7th, go Scorpio.
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a scorpion.
So hello, back to the interview, people. So I know you've been busy with a lot of virtual shows, and you've done, the One Love Many Heads. You've done a lot of fundraisers, which is beautiful. Are there any virtuals to look forward to?
Right now, I am not so focused on virtuals. Here's what. I am looking at what's really going on in the world, and this vaccine that we've got going on right now may change the course of this pandemic. This says to me, rehearse, and be prepared when the world comes knocking on my door to pay me to be on a stage. So that is my main focal point. But since none of us knows tomorrow, if anything comes up along the way that is in the virtual realm, absolutely. But it is not my focal point.
Okay. Yes. Talking about coming up, your song "Can't Let Go" is coming out soon. You talk about the whole world, how everything's rearranged and the changes. But I found that song, it's inspirational because you're saying, don't let go.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you something. I was in England and I was sitting in the window listening to a lady on purpose because every morning, they're 5 hours ahead, right? So every morning, my sleep cycle was off. So this was in the cool time, and whenever the artificial heat was on, I have to open the window. So I'm sitting in this window, forcing my ears to listen to this lady. At this time, I didn't know it was a lady, but I could see the silhouette coming down the hill, and she's tucking in her collar, and she's just murmuring about having to get up and go face the cold. Meanwhile, everybody else in the house is laying in their bed, right? So I'm sitting there. When she got out of earshot, and I got out of the window, I was like, listen to the voice of the people in the streets in the early morning after work. Just like that, you just kind of mutter something to yourself.
Yes.
And I couldn't get it out of my head. And what I came to realize at the time, this was right at the inception of the world recession, of the major recession we had, right? So when this happened, it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, whoa. So I grabbed a pen and paper and I wrote down what was going on. The song literally speaks to the fact that the amount of changes that we go through as we walk through this road of life, we've got one thing that we've got to do. Rasta Morgan as a Rasta man, me I say this Rasta man to Rasta man.
Yes, I.
You have to hold fast, brother. You can't ease up.
Hold your lane. That's how I said, don't.
Hold that
yes.
tight. That's why I said earlier, I no wishy-washy. I don't even like wishy-washy people because they will sell you not even 30 pieces of silver. They will take 5 or less. You understand?
Yes, man,
you have to hold on to what you believe in. Karen Delight, and you hear me tell you, so you sit from, you convince yourself that this is the path that you choose.
Yes.
Never let go, because there are things out there to drag you down, tear you down, shoot you down, bad mind, all kind of heap or something.
Second thoughts and doubt.
So that's what that song is about.
Yes, that thing they were called second thoughts and doubt. It will make you doubt what you initially.
Right.
Yes.
This Ras Morgan, you go down the highway for that speed, right? And some puddles don't happen in front of you. Think about it, no?
Yes.
Just think about it and see what happens if an hospital pick you up. You got to already know what you're going to do before that puddle doesn't happen, you know?
Yes.
You always have to have an out in this life. So you're best to know what it is that you're doing.
Yes.
You hear me use the word know all the time. You have to know. So that means, so you say from you're convinced that this is the right thing to do. Hold on with every being in you and never let go.
Yes,
interesting. So your Reflections album, I guess that's your 2020 album, has such a large catalog of music, as I mentioned. And let me just throw some of the titles, Ross. I know we played some of these songs already earlier. Yes. I'm Only Human, My Way, Tears from My Eyes, Little Green Apples, which we were talking about, Drift Away, The Way We Were, Change the World, How Glad I Am, I'll Make It With Your Love, and, of course, Gypsy Girl, which I'm going to work on becoming one, Just the Way You Are, and Till I Can't Take It Anymore. Now, that one, what you're saying in that song is what? Take it as long as you can? That's a patient song.
She go and dig up the answer.
Yes, you have to explain it.
Well, all right, so you remember I mentioned ballad, yeah? It's an illusion to think that everything is going to go your way in life. It's really, honestly, an illusion. But there are also, remember we talked about the Gypsy Girl, there are also some things that you invest in. You invest mentally, you invest monetarily, all kinds of which ways you invest. And so, because we're human, because we're humans, and that reason alone, we can't always just run and let go. You know how easy it is to tell a battered woman, why didn't you just leave? It's easy for you to stand on the outside and say that. But it's not just that easy. It's a lot of things that are involved in the thought process of human beings. So this particular song is talking about hanging on to whatever it is that makes you you until you simply just cannot take any more of it. As a matter of fact, you have played some of my songs, and so I'm going to ask a special request. My manager, Natalie, she loves this song. So, if I am allowed, can I give her a live version of a little piece of this song?
Oh, yes, man. Definitely.
Okay. So, here we go. Let's not fight anymore. Unpack your bags and close the door. I'll never leave you. I know you lied right from the start, but I can't convince my stupid heart not to believe you. You've got two good men strung out, and there's not the slightest doubt that other men loved you before. But you worked that thing so well, I dream of heaven while I live in hell, till I can't take it anymore.
Wow. Big up Natalie on that one. Lucky. You know, Russ, as he sang that, you know I'm a deep thinker, right?
Yes.
I just visualize somebody outside my window. I don't care if it's winter. I don't care if it's cold, because he's romantic. I just visualize somebody outside my window singing that to me.
See, it's where you bring her now. Now she got in a creative visualization. Very powerful, you know.
Hey,
Creative.
But let's play. Ross has one that he likes. We're gonna play How Glad I Am.
Oh, glad I am.
Yes. I know how glad he is to be here working with me.
And this one is a dub mix.
My love has no beginning, my love has no end, no front or back, and my love won't bend. I'm in the middle, lost in sin, loving you.
This one is a classic that bring back memories. I'm not lie, I swear. This one bring back memories.
My love has no beginning, my love has no end, no front or back, and my love won't bend. I'm in the middle, lost in spin, loving you. And you don't know how glad I am. My love has no bottom, my love has no top. My love won't rise and my love won't drop. I'm in the middle and I can't stop loving you. And you don't know how glad I am. I wish I were a poet so I could express the words I long to say.
We need to book you for a stage show. But now, like I swear, Karen, we need.
What?
Because of time restriction, we need to book these for a whole show.
I will put him on the list when I'm doing my next
concert.
show. Devar, thank you so much for your time, because time is something valuable. And it's been such a pleasure. You're like a walking book of knowledge.
Yes.
So we gained so much with this interview. And you know, Ross? He was described to me by John. He said his voice and message is just... he has a natural spirit about him.
Yes.
So the message he sends is matched by that natural spirit. And you felt it in the natural room tonight, right?
Yeah, I
did, definitely.
That
natural energy. Before we go, we want to allow you to do a few things. If there's anything you want to say before you go for our listeners throughout the world to know about Devare. We want let them know where they can find you and do your big ups.
Social media, yes.
For social media.
Okay. I'll start with the social media by going DevareMusic.com. That's where my home is online. I generally don't like to reel off a whole bunch of social media handles because people can't grasp so many things at a time, and most times they can't write it down either. So for the most part, it's DevareMusic.com, DevareMusic.com. I also have a manager, and it's SkyVoiceRecord@gmail.com. And you send her an email, and she will give you everything Devare, every single thing that you need. So those are the one-stop shops as far as social media handles are concerned. Now, I'm going to say something to you, too. And that something is an exorbitant thank you for allowing me to share your platform. And when I say thank you, I tip my hat absolutely to you for this, because you know something? There are so many people that are trying to get to that platform, and sometimes they destroy it on the first two words that they say out of their mouth. Okay? And I really appreciate you two taking your time to discussing Devare and trying to elevate Devare down this road. Again, hats off to you. I really appreciate you.
Definitely.
John Kitchen. Oh my gosh. You hear what Karen Delight says? She's not boosting up anything. She is real. From the first moment I opened my mouth and spoke to this man, our spirits intertwined. And the same thing happened. Ras Morgan, you were not a part of it. I'm sorry, brother. But the first moment I spoke to Karen Delight, the exact same thing happened. It comes with the authenticity I spoke about. I don't put on a face, bro. I don't put on a facade. You understand? There is no such thing in me. It was just never born in me. And